Hey guys, Brian from Snowwalker Outdoors. You remember that cat food can hack that we did? We made that alcohol stove and it was like that. A couple of viewers put some things, some questions, some thoughts into my head, like the stability of it. And they suggested a different type of alcohol stove. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do another easy, simple hack. And again, it winds up being a really, really good alcohol stove. One that even rivals a Trangia stove. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Here we go. Another cat food can. Another alcohol stove. This is what we're going to come up with. This stove has been around for quite a bit of time. If you look it up, it comes up as Fancy Feast stove or cat food can, super cat stove, I believe it does. You just look it up and you'll find it. Listen, my video is not going to be much different than most every other 500 videos making this stove. However, I am going to try to streamline it as much as possible and offer it up for you. One of the places that I did do a lot of watching to understand the stove a little bit more was Hiram Cook's channel, and I will put a link in the description of this video. Go check it out, because that guy does all kinds of things with alcohol stoves, times them, preps them, different conditions, whether it be in the wintertime, in the summertime, fall. The guy just goes, you know, off the hook as far as doing all kinds of different tests with these alcohol stoves. So I wanted to give him a shout out for that. That's kind of the difference between me and most of these other guys on YouTube. Everybody just takes a video, throws it up, and they pretend that it's their stuff. That's not, because this stuff has been around for a while. So I like to give people credit where credit is due. The way that I make this is kind of the way that he makes his. So, and I'll talk about that. So let's take a look at what we need. Take a look at two different versions up close. What do we need for the job today? We need a tomato paste can, Fancy Feast cat food can. Now, you can use, I think it's called potted meat. I don't know why anybody would eat it. It looks like cat food in its own right, but whatever, to each their own. Potted meat can, devil's food ham can, something of that nature. But I have a cat, so I elect to use Fancy Feast. There you go. So you need those two cans. You're going to need a wicking material. Fiberglass cloth was pretty much the rage. I have switched after using this stuff, and I'll show you why. I went to carbon felt. You can get this at any welding supply store. Just ask them for it, they have it. You're going to need your basic hole punch, a pair of tin snips, because you're going to have to cut this can. So that's what we're going to wind up doing. Now let's take a look at the two different versions that I have. So here we have the two versions of the stove in and of itself, very simply. First stove right here is using, as you can see, the fiberglass wick. Right? I don't like the fiberglass wick. It took me one stove to find out that I did not like this, for the very simple reason that the fiberglass is just a pain. It's a pain in the ass to use. Stuff comes out, it doesn't want to work right. You know, you just keep losing everything. So you got to keep rolling it, and then by the time you get all done, you have all these threads, and they need to be cut. You know what? It's a pain in the ass. You know, your fiberglass cloth is going to cost you $7. $7 versus $18 for the carbon fiber cloth. I'll pay the $18. I make enough of these now for my friends and things of that nature you know, it's not going to kill me. It still winds up being less than a Trangia. The second version, you will notice, is it does have the holes. Another logo project right here. You can put your own logo on it if you do it. Or you can send it to me and I'll sign it for you, and then you'll have a Snowwalker stove. Anyway, has the holes that you would in the cat food can, but it's still constructed the same way. This has a wick or a wicking material of the carbon felt right here. If you're a ultralight hiker, this right away blows this one away. This one is less than this one. The fiberglass may or may not last longer than this carbon felt. I really don't know. I don't use these often. However, I do carry them as a backup on certain occasions, like canoeing. I actually carried both of these just in case, due to weather constraints, so we could have at least 2 things of water going at one time. Make tea, coffee, however. So now let's get into the construction of it. Okay, very simply, take your cat food can, obviously clean it out, make sure that everything is nice and clean. There is a little bit of a lip here. You don't necessarily want that little lip there. It is malleable enough to just take your hole punch and just smooth it out. Work it all the way around. Now it won't interfere with your wick when you're actually putting the wick down inside. Tomato paste can. Most of the time they don't have the plastic on the inside. You don't have to worry about it. This one did have it on the inside, as you can see. I didn't worry about it. It'll burn out. This one didn't have it. Okay, that's nice and clean. Okay. Take your tomato paste can, put it in your Fancy Feast can, and the only thing that you're going to do is, after you get this cleaned out, go to the bottom here, measure up 1 inch, and cut it off. Tomato paste cans are roughly 3 inches. Measure up 1 inch and take it off, just like you are here. I use my tin snips, straight edge tin snips. Going to cut a straight line. Measure up 1 inch, cut it off. Okay, now we have our can that is cut off at 1 inch. So as you can see, now we have the proper height. Okay, you're not done with this. Simply, what we need to do now is we take our hole punch, and what you're going to do is you're going to come here at the bottom and you're going to make a half moon, and you're going to cut a hole in it. Okay? You're going to want to put one here, here, and immediately opposite the first hole. 4 holes. That's to allow the alcohol to flow into the wick. Last but not least, the only thing that you need to do is you need to place 1 hole here, just under the lip, and that is to allow the vapor to escape, because what winds up happening is when the alcohol is lit, it becomes gaseous, and it actually goes under pressure. So this right here just relieves the pressure and allows it to flow. Now we're done with this. Once again, if you want to use fiberglass, be my guest, go ahead and use fiberglass. I elect to use the carbon felt. And all you're going to wind up doing is taking this, measuring it around, and we're going to cut it off. In the interest of time, I've already cut this. What you're going to want is you're going to want to cut this at about 1.5 inches. Just a scotch less than 1.5 inches. And this will be perfect to go around our top. Now we're going to take this and go right around. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to put this in. And ladies and gentlemen, you now have an alcohol stove. It took longer for me to describe it than it will for you to make it, which is the greatest thing, again, about a project like this. Let's light this up. Just enough for it to soak in, just enough to get the wick ready to go. And there we go. Anyway, it's not so much about the gear that you buy, but it could be about the gear that you make that actually makes your trip that much more enjoyable. So I put it right up there with a transient stove, and I would use this any day. And I have used it. So maybe we'll even do some more cooking with something like this. So, Brian from Snowwalker Outdoors, thanks for your views and your comments. Until the next one, walk the woods.